Good morning, everyone. This is Jeff from the Cyber Pro podcast, where industry leaders share their insights. It's 5 questions in about 8 minutes because hackers never sleep. So, darn it, neither should we. Let's jump in. Taylor, good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
In a few sentences, can you please tell us who you are and what you do?
Would love to. So I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Eden Data. We are a cybersecurity advisory firm that actually caters specifically to startups. So we offer virtual CISO services, kind of service thought leaders for various startups globally, and build better security for them as they grow rapidly.
Wonderful. Very much needed these days. What would you say is the best or most challenging thing about being a CEO during these silly times?
I love it. I would say the hardest thing is that nobody knows what the heck is going on half the time. 2020 is obviously disrupting the business landscape. Businesses are changing very rapidly. And so as a company that actually started during the pandemic, I think just trying to pivot, rather than pivot, trying to predict where the next generation of companies is going and building my company around that. Trying to think about where the puck is going instead of where it is currently.
Yeah, wonderful. And that's an ever-changing target, I'm sure. Question number 3. We hear from other industry leaders like yourself that cybersecurity is not only a top concern, but only growing. When you hear that question, what does it mean to you?
I think that the way you summarize it is perfect. Cybersecurity, essentially every company out there is a data-driven company. So it doesn't matter if you're a flower shop down the road or you're a huge global organization that has software, doesn't matter. You're collecting data, and because of that, you have security implications behind that. And so as we have a next generation of companies that are being created easier and easier online, that's creating a wider and wider landscape for attackers, for any kind of malicious threats out there, and for against those companies that are collecting massive amounts of sensitive data inherently just to be able to operate as a business. So I would say that not only is cybersecurity becoming more and more relevant simply because we have more data, but we also have more companies. COVID really drove the entrepreneur spirit and put more companies on the map than ever before.
Yeah, very well put. And that leads us perfectly into question number 4, which is what insights about next generation cybersecurity for startups leading disruption would you care to share with our community?
Absolutely. So I think we've got a lot of cybersecurity professionals out there that have been at this for a long time. And so they've been serving these enterprise organizations that are on-prem, they have proprietary applications, everybody's in the same office, that sort of thing. And what we've seen is over the years, that's slowly been changing, but then COVID rapidly sped that up. And so as a cybersecurity professional with tremendous amounts of experience, you have to shift your mindset during your career. Like cybersecurity changed during your career. Some of the newer cybersecurity professionals, including myself, we actually were essentially raised up on this. And so we don't have as monumental of a pivot. A lot of us have been able to build our security know-how around next generation companies, cloud-driven organizations, these entrepreneurs that are collecting or that are producing software left and right. And so I would say that the first thing I will say is that as a cybersecurity professional, regardless of if you are newer or old at this game, understanding that especially because of COVID, there has been this monumental shift towards cloud-driven organizations, and that creates a monumental shift around the threat landscape. And so being able to shift and embrace some of these newer emerging technologies, these newer and emerging security best practices is very important. So you hear terms like zero trust. Zero trust has been out since 2011, but a lot of people didn't embrace it, and a lot of people didn't care about it until COVID hit. Now zero trust is on everything. And so I think that this actually creates tremendous opportunity for folks to be able to kind of evolve themselves as security professionals that are more than just technical gurus, and that they are thought leaders in the space. Regardless, I think I would be a prime example. I've been in the security space for less than 10 years, but now we serve as virtual CISOs for some really huge startups. And so we are that thought leader and are able to bring a lot of that strategic knowledge that we've built to the space. I would say that another thing that I would like to add is that we've also got to realize that we cannot apply a cookie cutter approach to organizations. So unfortunately, we can't just take the NIST cybersecurity framework or the CIS 20 benchmark and say, every company I serve is going to follow these guidelines. Unfortunately, every company is slightly different. Even if they're all cloud-based, even if they're using some of the same technologies, there's always slight nuances. And so it takes some soft skills to be able to identify that, recognize it, and build strategy around it. Back to my comment about thought leadership in this space, this is tremendous opportunity for any security professional out there, new and old. So I think that would be the message I would want to get across. The last thing I would say is just recognizing that there is a very unique opportunity in these next generation companies in that need help. They go out there and they spin up a company seemingly overnight. They start collecting data. We've got customers that are 5 strong, and they're serving the likes of Geico and GE and these huge organizations. So they need to be able to fake it till they make it, and they're going to need tremendous help building security quickly around their practices. So again, it enhances the opportunity for security professionals. And I don't know about you, Jeff, but I'm pretty darn excited to be in the space.
Sounds like it, absolutely. And so I have a comment, which it may just be a yes/no response from you, but you bring up the topic of the changes being monumental, and you've said that several times in the past couple of minutes. And I would perhaps offer to add that it's not only monumental, but it's evolving more quickly than it ever has before. So someone who may have seen a 5-year runway happened in 10 months because of COVID. And I don't think that evolution is going to go back to normal or go back to that previous time frame. It's either going to stay as fast as it is today or even get faster. Would you agree with that?
I couldn't agree more. It's kind of terrifying, but it also, if you can embrace that as a security professional and just know that you need to keep up with the latest and greatest, it's kind of exciting, right? So if you can pivot faster than the next guy or gal, that just gives you a unique advantage.
Excellent, excellent. And on that, I'm going to shift gears a little bit and ask you if our viewers want to learn a little bit more about you, kind of what you're preparing at your company, your products and services. What is the best way to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. So website, we actually have a unique thing where you can actually get a hold of me directly through our website, connect with us on there, and then also on LinkedIn, of course, very active on LinkedIn, and would be glad to chat with anyone about any security or compliance topic.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Final question, and a fun one. We always like to wrap it up with a smile. So hopefully you've got something good, not to put you on the spot, but what is your favorite piece of retro technology that makes you smile?
Ooh, I would have to say the record player. So definitely a big fan of the record player. You can even see that my lamp off my right shoulder is made of records. Big on the old school music. So records and gramophones.
Fantastic. Love it. Taylor, thank you very much for your time today. I wanted to give a shout out to our viewers. You guys are awesome. As you know, we post 3 to 4 podcasts a week on various topics within the cybersecurity space. So we look forward to seeing you again here on the Cyber Pro podcast. I wish you all well. Have a wonderful day and peace out.
Thank you so much.